To be honest, as a freshman, you come in, I think you think that you're like nervous and you don't know how to do anything. And to be honest, like you would be surprised how many upperclassmen have that same feeling. There are actually a lot more opportunities in computer science after your freshman year than you might expect. And I would definitely do some research if you're interested in doing something over the summer, because a lot of companies, for example, like Google and Microsoft and Facebook, they have programs specifically for freshmen and sophomores.
I definitely agree. Like, find those opportunities that have programs for freshmen and sophomores, because a lot of times, like, applying to just regular internships, that's what stops you from getting them, is your grade level. I think my other advice is, I think the way we found a lot of those opportunities was just like going to career fairs and going to different events and just being like up and like being like, we're freshmen, what can you offer still? And that's how like we found out about Amazon. I remember the career with the industry night that we went to. That was really helpful because it was like a smaller
And
group.
checking your email. Definitely checking your email. There are a lot of opportunities that pop up in your email. So
Your
look out for
email
that.
is your favorite social media in college. I definitely think you should go to a career fair as a freshman. There's nothing to lose as a freshman because everyone's kind of expecting you to not know anything, and it takes a lot of the pressure off because you're like, okay, if I fail, like that's what they expected, like nothing's like gonna change. And when you go then next year as a sophomore and a junior, you know what to expect, so like you're a lot less nervous about everything. Even though now there's more pressure that you have to actually get something out of it, there's no more of that pressure of, oh no, what's gonna be happening here? How do I talk to a recruiter? What types of questions do recruiters ask?
I think that having that experience as a freshman, like Alisha mentioned, when you don't have as much to lose necessarily, there's not as much at stake. It definitely helps because you get something like your elevator pitch, like you get to practice that a lot, and then obviously that will change as you go like year to year probably with your experience. But I think just like having that practice talking to recruiters is actually really, really useful because then you feel way more comfortable when you have more at stake.
And I'm glad you brought up the elevator pitch because that brings me to like other events, because not just career fairs, they have like prepping for career fair events, and those are super useful. Like, it's really weird to think that you're gonna go and pitch your like whole like life story in 15 seconds to a stranger, but honestly, because they're a stranger, it makes it way easier to do so. And then like they give you criticisms, but it's very tailored towards you, and they're not just like bashing on you, they're kind of like helping you figure out like, oh, okay, you said this point and this is how I think you could articulate it better.
Number one would be you just have so many opportunities that especially like UCSD offers in terms of like tutoring and office hours and all those types of things. I know that things are a little bit weird with this virtual environment. I would say that the number one thing I would recommend is taking advantage of those resources, making sure that you feel comfortable with the stuff that you're learning and that you understand your assignments as you're going, because honestly, like that will mean you're probably going to do well in your tests if you understand what you're doing on your assignments. And then another piece of advice would be like just make friends in your classes, because it really helps so much more to like be with other people that are learning the same stuff and see kind of what they're doing and like just talk about stuff together. I think that makes a huge difference in doing well.
I think also definitely use your resources. It's okay to feel overwhelmed as a freshman coming in, because high school to college, like no matter where you went, is a different thing, and everyone, it's different for different reasons. So use your resources, talk to your professors, go to office hours. They're actually really nice. Like, I always get really scared and then I get there and I'm like, oh wait, this professor's really chill. He's super nice, she's super nice. Like, definitely like make connections with people anywhere you go. I learned this a lot, especially at UCSD, where everyone thinks that we're all like very antisocial. We're not. We're just scared to make that first move. And when you make the first move, the other person is really willing to reciprocate. They're like, oh my God, thank you for reaching out. I want to do this. I really think that, especially as a freshman, like go to everything that is even slightly interesting to you. I know Emily and I went to workshops for things that weren't even related to our major. We went to every single different engineering event. We also went to just like fun organizations who were doing things around campus. I mean, our famous capture the flag game. Definitely just do anything that interests you, because it might not further your career, but it might make you meet someone that furthers your career. Or it might just give you a good outlook on college life and like give you that little bit of enjoyment you need that will help your mental health and like get you higher in your career as well. Also, the number one thing that I learned is I got one leadership position in my sorority as a freshman, and it makes the world of a difference to make you feel more involved in college life. Like once you get a leadership position, that organization, you get like way further into it. You're the one who's recruiting the younger people into the org, and it just kind of gives you a bigger sense of like, oh, okay, I'm doing something for them and I'm a part of this and I know a bunch of people in it. And it's just kind of like a nicer feeling. Plus it gives you leadership skills. So definitely try to find people in your classes for sure. You learn about how you can study for yourself, but you also learn about like, okay, so this person thinks this is something important to know. I didn't realize that was something important to know, but that's good to know. Like I need to study that too. Or when you have someone working with you, you understand sometimes like, oh, I actually don't know that as well as I could have, and they know a lot more about it. Can they teach me about it? I realize right now, because we're online, it might be hard to find friends, especially if you're coming as a freshman, you don't know anyone yet. Honestly, this kind of takes us back to like office hours. When you go to office hours and there's like 2 or 3 people like there, it's a really good way to now be like, oh, okay, hey, I saw you at office hours. I was wondering if we can study together.
Definitely like just do your assignment whenever it comes out, because you don't ever want to be like in that pressure for that due date. And I think it really just holds true for exams too, because when you're cramming something like the night before an exam, you're so stressed out and you're probably not really learning that much. Whereas like if you start early and you're studying with friends and stuff like that, then there's just like not as much pressure, and you're actually like absorbing the information more, I think, and just schedule it out kind of, I guess. Like I use a planner and I just like put when I'm studying for certain things. I think that like Alisha and I kind of came into college in a pretty similar spot. We both had done a lot of AP classes before college, so I think that set us both up for like, you know, having a lot of opportunities in college. I think for me personally, I definitely did look into double majoring and taking on minors and stuff like that. But I took a couple classes in what I thought I might be interested in. And I just found that like I really do have a passion for computer science. And so like instead of having this like breadth, I kind of wanted to have more of a depth of knowledge in CS. And so that's why I decided I would want to like pursue my master's and stuff. And so then I just started looking into master's opportunities, and I found that we have like our BSMS program, and I was like, oh, that'd be a cool thing to do in 5 years. And then all of a sudden, before I knew it, I was graduating like early. And so yeah, I just applied for it, and definitely I think you have a lot of options. Like you can go right into work, you know, or I think like just honestly making sure that you're planning with your like classes when you're going to take them is probably the most important thing. Making sure that you know what all the prereqs are, that's definitely a big thing, because that makes a huge difference. And just like plan out when you want to take them, and then you can pretty much do whatever. I mean, definitely take classes you think you're interested in, figure out if you think you want to double major or minor, whatever, or graduate early, you know.
I wanted to bring up the fact that both of us kind of didn't follow the rules when we took some classes. Like there are unspoken things where people recommend taking classes at a certain level and like a certain time, but honestly you can take upperclassmen classes anytime. There's no like telling you, oh, you can't do it because you're a lower classman. None of that. Like if you think you're ready, you've taken all the prerequisites, go for it. Don't hold yourself back. And another thing is look out for these opportunities where you talk to your advisors, talk to them like, do you think I can take this class and this class at the same time? I know both of us had those talks with our advisors where we took classes that wasn't the typical path, but it wasn't a wrong path.
Don't be afraid to submit easy requests. I've submitted plenty and I've gotten denied from plenty because I am ridiculous, but I'm so sorry to my advisors. But also the other thing, going off of that really quick, is just you don't have to take your GE classes first. I think that's a misconception, and one of my advisors told me that I could wait to take those, and I think that makes a huge difference, because then you can get all of your prereqs done and everything, and then you have like an easier year. I have an art class to take this year, so that would be nice.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the stress load when you're taking the harder classes. That's a great point.
Balance out your classes for sure.
Keep a balance of pushing yourself, but also knowing your limits, because I think that's one thing where you either always go too easy or too hard. You want to find that balance.
Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and comment with your thoughts and experiences. If you'd like to see more content like this, please make sure to follow at Real Life Videos. Let's rehumanize.